Here are some highlights of our recent trip to the Yucatan Peninsula. Hope you enjoy. Our first stop was Valladolid. Since we were very jet-lagged the first day, we woke up really early the next morning to enjoy some of the sunshine.
After some delicious tacos, we drove 45 minutes from Valladolid to Chichen Itzá. It is one of the UNESCO World Wonders, and it was definitely a sight to see. The Mayans built this temple very intentionally so that when you clap, it feeds back the sound of a bird. Other than the main temple, there was a lot more to see. For the next 3 hours, we walked around the ruins and passed by many different souvenir stands, so we were definitely grateful to have worn a comfortable pair of shoes. Don't be silly like us and forget your sunglasses because it was hot as hell and the pavement reflected a lot. But all in all, it was a really nice experience, not too crowded, and we could definitely recommend taking a look for yourself. After Chichen Itzá, we enjoyed a delicious buffet that was about 300 pesos per person, or around 16 euro. And at the moment we thought that was pricey, but in hindsight after our trip, that was actually a great deal because the food was delicious and we were definitely happy with it. After a long morning, we were back in the quaint town of Valladolid and returned to our hotel to rest up a little bit before we hit the town in the evening. Just a moment of appreciation for this sweet, sweet doggo that was chilling on the side of our hotel. Off we went to the city center. Valladolid came to life in the evening. We really enjoyed our time in the town square amongst all the lively people and watched some live performers. There were many different delicious street food options, but we were looking for something a little bit more cozy where we could sit down, so we headed off to a restaurant nearby. This restaurant was nestled in a backyard and was so cute they even offered us this game to pass the time before our food came. I completely dominated this game, and after about 8 or 10 rounds, Tim didn't manage to win a single one.
Our final morning in Valladolid, we explored a little more and ended up at a restaurant with the same name as Paulina's surname. Once again, the food was great. The coffee was something very different to what I'm used to. Soon we were back on the road to Tulum.
Tulum Ruins sit on seaside cliffs and was known as the Great Mayan City by the Sea. Tulum was the last great city constructed and inhabited by the Mayan people. This ruin site was a place for sea trade, and tribes from all over Mexico and other Central American countries would travel here to do so. The ruins were close enough to the Tulum city center for us to take a bike ride there. We had a lot of fun exploring here on our own and seeing all of its beautiful corners.
Next up, Sac Actun. You can't visit the Yucatan Peninsula without having seen at least one cenote. A cenote is a type of sinkhole with groundwater. They can extend for long distances under the impressive caves, like here at Sac Actun.
For 3 nights, we stayed in this community called Puerto Aventuras. This was near an incredible wedding we had attended. It felt a bit touristy and out of touch with other vibrant communities in this region, but here's a short montage nevertheless.
One of our favorite beaches on a holiday was Akumal, place of the turtles. In fact, we came here twice. The first time for a guided snorkel tour, and the second time we tried to explore on our own. Both times we were fortunate enough to find the turtles. Not far from the main beach, we stumbled across some abandoned homes that had an artistic flair. Most of these homes were covered in graffiti.
Probably the highlight of our trip was visiting Xcaret. It's a nature and adventure park and felt like a world of its own with countless things to see. We started with the butterflies. In a bird world where Big Bird hates clueless tourists, lives are in danger. Clueless Tourist 1, Big Bird 0.
Many of the birds were peaceful. We took our time in marveling at their beauty.
Here was a cemetery highlighting Mexico's rich culture regarding death and the afterlife. This little fella is called a coati.
With our things locked away, we then went swimming in the cenote-like river. About half an hour later, we got out at the other end of the park.
Shout out to the food options at Xcaret because we had a delicious lunch and it came with a view. Afterwards, we walked through some ruins, as well as a botanical garden, and we were just in time for the last boat tour. As if our day wasn't already cool enough, we then headed up to a tower to overlook the park.
And then the evening program began. made our way to the venue for the 2-hour cultural show. At first 2 hours sounded like a long time, but we were captivated from start to finish.
The show began with highlighting historical periods in Mexico. The second half of the show highlighted Mexico's rich culture, showing the diversity of different regions. The performances were stunning, this one being one of our favorites from the state of Veracruz. There was a grand finale, and we definitely saw that Mexicans hold a lot of pride for their beautiful country.
Thanks for watching our video.
We enjoyed sharing our trip with you and hope to make more videos this year.